our tenant union meeting for the month of April. All right, so let's get into business. We have a few things to cover. We have some special guests, and then we have a very important announcement to make about the rally. So please stick around for that because we need everyone's participation. So first, old business. Will, please give us an update on donations and the cash fund.
Good evening, everyone. Hey, everyone online. For old business, our turn donation total as stands as $345 tonight. Cash in hand, of course. So if you have any donations, I am collecting them. I'm the only one at the moment collecting them, due to our treasurer being on a little hiatus. So if you want to see me, welcome to come and stop by, and I'll take your cash.
All right, thank you, Will.
Does everybody have an agenda?
Yeah, does everyone? Don't. All right, because this is for tenant union. Let's keep going. Here you go. You can take mine. Okay. All right, let's move on to new business. We have Dom, who's here, Dominique, to give us an update on the activities with Met Council.
Hi, thank you so much. Hello, everyone on Zoom. Hello, tenants of Savoy Park. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Dominique Hood. I'm a tenant organizer with the Metropolitan Council on Housing. The Met Council on Housing is New York City's oldest tenant union with history stretching back to the 1950s. I'm here to tell you about two quick programs that we have that I really would love to, we had more Savoy Park tenants participate in. We were very grateful to have a bunch of Savoy tenants come to our Manhattan chapter meeting last month at the end of March. We're going to be meeting again on Monday, this coming Monday, at the Goddard Riverside Senior Center at 6 o'clock. So all Manhattan residents are welcome to come join us. When we get together, we talk about tenants' rights, and we also talk about moving forward legislation, both in the city council and in the state house, to protect tenants and to keep our rent costs down. Because New York City, as we all know, is one of the most rent-burdened places in America. So I wanted to tell you quickly, we have a volunteer-run tenants hotline that any tenant in New York City can call at any time. You can see it right here on the back of my sweater. And you can call that hotline. It's staffed mostly by people training to be housing lawyers, or even just tenants who have really been through the ring. Myself, in housing court with my mom. And from those experiences, gain a lot of knowledge. And so if you're feeling lost, if there's something in your documents that you don't understand, if there's something on your lease that you're not quite sure of, I want to encourage everyone to call our free tenants' rights hotline. You can find the times on our website. I also want to encourage folks to come to one of our tenant clinics. Now, this is a little bit more specific. If you have a bunch of documents, if you're getting served by your landlord and you're confused about how to go about responding to these things, you can bring all of those documents to one of our free tenant clinics, which happen on the second and fourth Thursday of each month. You can also find out where and what times on our website. And last but not least, I just wanted to give a big shout out to the Savoy Park Tenant Union. It's about almost a year and a half to the day that I came to my very first SPTU meeting. It was right here in this very same building in 620. And a lot of the people who were organizing back then, we were scattered, we were disparate, buildings were dealing with their own problems. And I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone, both on Zoom, all these fine folks you see behind me that are doing all this great work and organizing, and all of you as the tenants who are coming out here and standing in solidarity with each other. We got out there last year in April, and we showed Harlem that the Savoy Park Tenant Union has strength behind it. We have people behind it, and people power is always going to be profit. And so I encourage each and every one of you not only to come out to our rally on the 26th, grab one of these flyers, each and every one of you that's here and on Zoom to make a commitment to talk to your neighbors. That neighbor on your floor that you always smile at, that neighbor on your floor you always see throwing out the trash at night. I want you to reach out and say, hey, I need you to come with me on next Saturday, and I want you to come and stand with Savoy so we can get proper repairs and a management that listens to our concerns. So thank you all so much for being here. I'll be hanging out later if you have any questions, and thank you so much for having me as always. Straight into the rally. Who wants to fly?
Okay, so continuing with the energy that Dom just gave us, we do want to talk about the rally. For those of you who have been attending our meetings and reading our newsletters and communicating with us, this is an annual rally that we plan to do. The first one was last year. This year we plan to do it again. And the point of this year, last year was to bring awareness to what was going on at Savoy. So if you remember a year ago, what the circumstances were on the campus, how things were occurring in terms of tenants, in terms of security. Well, we want to showcase what has happened a year later. Some of those things may be resolved, some of those things may not be resolved. And we have invited our elected officials, the press, and other folks to come. So Pam will walk through. You could maybe share a little bit what happened last year and what we plan to do this year, and then we can answer some questions.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Pamela. I am a resident of Building 60, and I have been here since 1997. I participated in the rally last year. Just going back to the point, as we continue to do these initiatives, it is very hard to have a voice, right? When you have one voice, two voices, three voices, we need hundreds of voices, right? And it's just as easy as Dom said, I do it. You see your neighbor, communicating with each other, one person tell another person and another person. And it's real easy to, oh, it doesn't matter if I don't show up, it matters. It matters. If you call this office, right, you know that you cannot reach them. They have now outsourced their phones to an answering service. If you need anything security, I even in the morning wake up 3 o'clock, right? I see the police and the ambulance. They cannot get into the building. So when you pick up the phone to call, even if that time of the morning, you are going to an answering service. That's not an option that we need to be allowing them to do. So as frustrated as you are, hold on to that frustration. Just take the time, make a mental note. Even if you don't say anything, the visibility of seeing 500 people. And as this union has told us before, they have gotten how many buildings, how many apartments. So we have over 1,000 tenants that live here. We are all going through the disparity of this thing called fair said management. So if you're frustrated, please support us. Support us and come out. Tell somebody, even if they don't respond. Tell them as you walk into the store. Tell them as you go into work, when you come in your building, go into your mailbox, doing your laundry. Just spread the word. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
You're so welcome.
All right, that's my neighbor. We live in the same building. Okay, so let's go through some logistics. I want to ask some questions. When is the rally?
April 26th.
No, Pam.
Here we go. We did it.
Okay, no leadership core members or building representatives or floor captains allowed to answer.
All right, when's the rally? Of April, yes, on Saturday. What time? 12 noon, where? On the avenue. Yes, you got it. Perfect. Yay. Yes. Yeah, how many people gonna show up? Yeah, no,
Gonna be there?
not everybody.
How many is gonna bring somebody? How
There we
many is
go.
gonna spread the word from now until, and we cannot get tired.
And then we just got confirmation that your assembly member, Jordan Wright, is making it a point to clear his schedule to be here from 12 to 1, to not only speak to the cameras that are gonna be there, but also to participate in the walkthrough and see how Fairstead's mismanaging this place.
Jordan Wright.
Jordan Wright. That's your assembly member in the lower house.
Oh,
In the
they
state
can't
house,
hear
two
John.
houses.
Okay.
You have State Senator Cordell Clear. You have a State Senator Cordell Clear. And then in the lower house, you have Assembly Member Jordan Wright. We're also in contact with the Public Advocate's Office. Now, I can't make any promises yet about Jumani Williams, but I have been told that his Deputy Public Advocate for Housing Equity, Solomon Acevedo, is going to be here right on the dot at 12 noon. So this is a really great opportunity to get some visibility on these issues that we all deal with day in and day out here at Savoy. So thank you so much.
Oh, and we missed one person. Yeah.
Just bring her. Don't even just go get her.
If you
What does she like to do?
So the question was, if I have a neighbor and she doesn't speak English, how do I get her to come?
Google Translate.
Yeah.
So we have, we can use like Google Translator, so maybe Susan can help you. And then that you can make sure that your neighbor has the information.
It's a good question. Okay, so we spoke about three of our representatives, Jordan Wright, Cordell Clear, and then Jumani Williams. We forgot to mention one more person. Dr. Yusuf Salam, the council member's office, is also coming. So that is our entire scope of representatives for who represents us in the different different houses, and folks who can vote on what we need here and make decisions for us. So please come out. They're making time to come for us. We need to make time for also for the fact that they're being present, right? And then that's also time to get FaceTime with them, speak with them. Over the past year, because of the rally that we had last year, they have given us meeting times. We've met with them multiple times. And I just yesterday on the subway ran into somebody from Council Member Yusuf Salam's office, and she said hello to me. They're starting to recognize who we are. So when we ask for things, they will help us. They will listen to us. So this is also part of us building a relationship and building up our network, okay? So we will see you on Saturday, April 26th, noon on the Avenue, on Lenox Avenue. Actually, not at noon, come before.
Yeah.
We should greet them. Yeah. Rain date is May 3rd, okay? Yeah, that's a good question. So let's all arrive at 11:45 so that we start right on the dot, because our representatives will be there at 12, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let's keep moving on. I just want to quickly bring up something from the last meeting, the Tenant Community Code of Ethics. If you were here at the last discussion, we have two really awesome tenants who took up the initiative to try to build up a code of ethics. So we all know some of you have been here many, many years, 30 plus years, and and you speak very highly about how it was community here and everybody would look out for each other. Kids would play with one another, and you all grew up together either with your families or with the set of neighbors. And we want to continue that tradition. So we have two folks who have started a document for a code of ethics, right? Like how to be neighborly neighbors, how to take care of the grounds. Yes, this is above and beyond what we would typically do, but that's how you build community. And that's what Savoy is about, right? Like when we think about the past, we want to continue that in the future. So if you take a look here, we're open for suggestions. If you click on the link below, or even if you don't, say you don't use technology that much, if you want to tell us some suggestions, it could be as simple as like, don't play the music after a certain amount of time, or don't slam your door. Like my neighbor, they slam the door every time they go in and out. Like I would love to put that in in our code of ethics, because it wakes me up at night. So things like that. Okay. Let's move on now to, yes. Okay, go ahead. So we have Susan here who wants to read a statement from the group that's working on this.
Yes, so, Venice sorry. Hello, I'm Susan. Hello. Venice, who is one of the organizers, he was going to be here, but his professor, he's in school and his professor could only meet tonight. So he sent me a statement to read to you and to thank you. He said, the Tenant Code of Ethics meeting held on March 29th was well received with a very good turnout. While we have taken the first step, the work is not done. We need more tenants present to attend and share their concerns as we continue this journey together. Join us on May 3rd from 12 to 2. Now, if there's a rain date for our rally, then we'll reschedule this code of ethics. But from 10, not from 10 to 2, from 12 to 2. Light refreshments and snacks will be available. Remember remember flyers will also be posted soon. Thank you very much, and we appreciate everybody that showed up last time. All right, thank you.
Yeah, I think you're that easier too. Okay. All right, now we're going to move on to community announcements. This is something that came about from previous meetings. We live in Harlem, the village of Harlem. There's a lot of things that are happening outside of Savoy that are still part of our community. So as best as we can with the announcements that we find out about, we want to let you know what's happening. It could be something that's happening across the street. It could be happening on 125th or somewhere else in Harlem. But these are all things also to build up our immediate community within Harlem. So we have a few things around Earth Day, and Susan will speak about that.
So again, a couple of the organizers unfortunately could not make it tonight, so they asked me to speak on their behalf. The first one is the community cleanup for Earth Day, which is this coming Saturday from 10 to 2. The Malcolm X Boulevard Beautification Group is hosting that. There's going to be a kids corner, so bring out your kids. They're also going to have a tree workshop. The Parks Department, I think, is running that. They're going to teach people how to take care of our street trees so they don't die. Because the more trees in a community also just makes it a clean, like a cleaner, easier to breathe living environment. So they're going to talk about that. So check that out. It's on the boulevard in front of Fred Samuel. Go ahead and look at the email that you guys all received. The flyer is there. Okay. I didn't have any extra flyer. The next exciting thing that's happening, we also have a community compost site. It's over on, I know that we're going to be doing building composting, and I'll get into that in a second. There's kind of two different types of composting, okay? The city one is not the one that you see when you compost things down and it looks like dirt, right? That you put on your houseplants. The city one is basically making a biogas, methane. So we're gonna have like an information session on that. So the idea is to keep these community compost sites running. Ours is over on 139th between Malcolm X and 7th on the downtown side of the street. And it is called Central Harlem Community Compost. They also have given us, the city, charge of taking care of some of the new tree beds. If you notice, we're getting new trees. And a lot of those new trees are due to, by the way, the other group, Malcolm X, MBX, Malcolm X Beautification. Yes, the first one. So many acronyms. It's like alphabet soup to me. Sorry about that. So a lot of that came in, but they dug up a lot of space for us to plant. At first we thought, well, maybe we'll plant some vegetables. And then the city's like, no, not a good idea with all the traffic going back and forth. Probably would not be it wouldn't be good to eat those vegetables. So the next thing, we're going to be planting seeds and flowers. And the organizer, what she's doing is she's going to cordon off, if you want your own little plot, she's going to cordon off little areas, and that's going to be your plot on the avenue that you can plant whatever you want, do with it what you want, take care of it. So if you want to go to that, that's here, and that's May 3rd at 10 a.m. Okay. So there's a flyer here. I will pass it around, and there's an email in the email, or on the agenda. If you want to reserve a little plot for yourself, email that email, okay? And Sharon will set you up so she'll know that you're coming. Anybody have any questions about those two community? Yes. Yes. She does. That's her, yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Susan. We have a question.
You guys have, we have quarters and everything, but with the weather.
Right, they
Yeah.
just do a minimal job, yeah.
It's all.
We could do that.
It's like. So, like, I wanna unify my community, but I wanna unify my own community first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
We can do
And
both.
They would be offended if they saw us outside. Maybe that's what we should be doing. The day of, have some of us on the grounds cleaning up dog poop, just so when the news watching us, we as tenants, seriously, this is like unbelievable. You're walking in a minefield when you come out. I won't sit out here.
Yeah, so let me, so the question was, before we go and beautify the greater Harlem community, what if we were to beautify and do cleanup here on the Savoy grounds? So that was a suggestion. We'll take that back. There was a suggestion also to incorporate cleanup as part of the rally. So that's something we can think about as well. Okay.
One more.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of looking at it.
I did bring 4 bags of this compost. This is the real compost. We put just a little bit on your, if you have houseplants, come up and get some. It's free. And it's like powerful, rich fertilizer, but all natural for your houseplants.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's great. So let me tell you a personal story about this compost site.
Yeah.
So I didn't know about the compost site until I joined the SPTU. Then I started taking compost. I'd never done it before. I made a couple mistakes. My bag blew up on the street. I had to like pick up. So you learn some things. But now I get my my dirt from the compost site. It's literally right here. It takes 5 minutes round trip from from our building across the street. You grab what you need, you come back. On Saturday mornings, they're there doing the work. Yes. If anybody wants to go together, we can do that. And Susan's been a part of it. I didn't know her before we joined the SPTU. I've met some other folks, but you can go dirt. If you go to, what is that over there? Home Depot, you pay a lot of money and they're giving it out for free.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Well, you don't want to take this and
Oh.
plant your whole plant in it.
Okay. See, I don't know what to do.
Just sprinkle it on your
It'll
plant.
blow it out.
Just sprinkle it on
Sprinkle.
your plant.
That's right.
So you could teach us.
Yes, and in 2 weeks, there's gonna be a master composter on Saturday morning, and I'll try to send out an email.
Okay.
Okay. But this is good stuff. People pay, a lot of money. So let's participate it's across the street. You know where where the fire was, the building that had the fire? It's
Yeah.
like 2 buildings down from there.
Okay.
Okay, it's really close. Yes. There's a question.
What about, the landlord is putting a lot of things on people's rent that don't belong.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling me I owe him something like $7,000.
Who is he?
The landlord.
Management. Okay. It's a good question. Not necessarily. So someone's asking questions about their ledger.
You gotta address that, though, the renting law.
Yeah, that's something that, yeah, we don't, the question is about a specific ledger and the amounts and the fees that someone may owe.
Sentence. If you look at the back page, and I know that I'm going ahead.
Yep.
And it's really about being diligent and being mindful every month. Even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you gotta show up in numbers. You're gonna continue to treat us like this, complaining and doing two different.
Complaining.
No, I'm not saying, not personally. I'm saying, come and voice whatever you have. Dominic can help you with that. That
But we
issue.
have voiced this before. This is not the first time I'm talking about this.
At a meeting,
But Jean, have you gone over to the management office?
Yes, I have went
talked
over
to them
there.
And
Of
talked to
course.
them about it?
Yes.
What did they say?
They talk about this, but this, but that. When I first many years ago, the other landlord said, hey, I went to them and told them, you cannot get your money on search. This is when you can get your money. I sat there and saw them put it in the computer. When we get the change of landlords, whatever's in that computer, from the other landlord, they can extract that and put in what they want. This is what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And can I just say, she's not the only one, Fairstead also, since people have started to get their rent reductions. Fairstead has been telling people, I'm not gonna name names or anything, but I've been talking with a lot of tenants who have come to us and our legal teams and said, hey, I got my rent reduction, but Fairstead's not saying I have the rent reduction. They say I have to pay the same rent that I was paying. Fairstead is a bad actor. I'm not going to use names. I'm not going to use curses, but you are dealing with, hold on, let me just tell you, Fairstead is a management that is going to try to nickel and dime you when they can. You have to stand up for your rights. If you know that you don't owe something, you need to be calm about that, and you need to be diligent about that and hold your ground. Because I can't tell you how many of your neighbors held their ground against Fairstead and they folded. So if you want advice about legality, please call our hotline. If you want me to come by and talk you through it and show me some papers that you got, I would love to. I'm going through these buildings, knocking doors all day long. So please come up to me after the meeting and let's set up a time to do that.
Okay. Yeah, so the question, one second. The question is, I have a ledger that has fees and or additional costs that are not tied to my rent, and I don't believe I should pay this. And management is not addressing it, and management continues to say it's thousands of dollars. So the response that we got from Met Council was that this is something that's happened not with a single tenant, but with multiple tenants that they are aware of, that they are supporting. And the next step here would be, number one, to get some paperwork. Maybe you can share it with Met Council. It could be reviewed. They can explain what it is saying. It's not necessarily saying that you owe it, but that what's on there, so you understand specifically what's said there, and then moving forward and call the hotline. Okay.
Say that I owe it, right?
I'm saying that they could be lying.
But I don't know, okay, but if you go over to the office, I have went over to the office, I have sat there with Diddy and whoever. And explain this, I came here in '99. Why is all of this money on my, you owe? I went through my whole account, so you take my money every month, how can I owe this money?
And it's, I want to say something else, you know, it's really, to them, it's just a number. And if they can get money off you that you don't owe them, of course they're going to try to get money off you that you don't know. But I want to stand here just as a human being for a second, that it is messed up when you have a good tenant that pays their rent on time every month, year after year, sends in the lease renewal every year on time, and they're still trying to jerk you around. I just want you to hear me human to human, that it's messed up and you don't deserve it. But to see these people around you, that is your strength to fight back against them. It's not just a phrase. You know, it's really the strength of the people around you that is going to be by your side when you have to stand up to a management company like this. Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to really, because what she needs is a resolution, right? So if you owe that amount of rent, I'm sure that you've had to go to court.
Nobody took me to court because they.
Not yet, not yet, not yet.
Ain't taking the court yet.
They can.
If she's still paying them every month, it may not be that easy, so right, she's still paying.
So what about going to housing and community renewal at the state building?
They could eventually try to open up a non-payment case against her and try to take her to court for arrears. But a lot of times they won't because they know they're going to lose that case. So,
It's not out.
Yeah.
but this is what I'm trying to say, and it's not fair. And I want you to hear me when I say that. It's not fair. And some of the Savoy tenants, again, I'm not going to name names, but I've been through their documents. They pay their rent every single month on time. And then these ghost charges show up and they're like, you have 15 late charges all stacked up out of nowhere on one rent payment. And it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. But that's why you have free resources. You don't need to wait out in the ocean alone. Please call our hotline. If they send you a letter that scares you, take it to our tenant clinic. Have someone else look at it.
Let's go to the.
Does she have?
I just want, you,
Their check every month.
And they cash it.
I got it in my phone where y'all took my check every month.
I do want to move the meeting on, but after this meeting, please, I would love to see what they say.
I think somebody.
Just-
Okay.
one last thing. So, and I hear the frustration. I had a situation with them. You have to be diligent. As frustrating as it is, and you may have all the proof that says, I've paid you, I don't owe you anything. You have to stay on top of it. You have to continue to push the issue until it's resolved. Don't let them wear you down. Sometimes it's just a matter of, we'll keep trying and eventually somebody's going to pay us, but you've got to stay on top of it and clear. I had to stay on top of it. They eventually cleared my situation. I didn't owe them, but I had to stay on them until they got it resolved. So you have resources, right? We have some support here, so keep at it until they resolve it.
Thank you. Yes, if you can just say it in the mic. so
You
folks-
come up to wait me on Zoom.
Okay, I had a situation several years ago where it was time for my lease renewal. And the landlord said to me, "Oh, you are such an exemplary tenant. We wish we had more people like you. We're not even worried about you. You don't even have to worry about it. You don't have to sign a new lease. Everything is cool. You're fine." I said, "What?" So I spoke to my lawyer. I'm a retired teacher. I called Feldman, Kramer, and Monaco. And I said, "This is what they told me." They said to me, they want you to not send the lease renewal in so you become a month-to-month tenant. That's what they want. So don't worry, we're going to get in touch with them. So they wrote a letter to the landlord saying, "Stop messing with this tenant. She's an exemplary tenant. Send her her lease right away or we will see your ass in court." I got my new lease within a week.
Uh-huh.
Be on the mic.
Okay.
I talk loud. All already.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? With her situation, I've been here 8 months today.
Okay.
When you say lawyer, they will shut that shit down.
Yeah, they will.
So that's all you need to do. Lawyer. Lawyer. Okay.
That was good.
That's right.
I hear what you're saying.
I just started paying rent.
Mm-hmm.
So they told
So a
me,
new tenant
they told me,
began living here 8 months ago and was seeing late fees.
Lawyer.
So they spoke. Okay, and they got a result. All right, let's move the meeting forward. We're almost at the end and then we can continue conversation, okay? All right, so general announcements that we make every month. We do want to let you know, we are still looking for floor captains. Earlier, we had mentioned how many people live in the building. There are 1,800 apartments in the entire Savoy campus. We have a lot of floors. We have a lot of tenants. One of the best ways to communicate is by getting floor captains by each building. In building 60, we have a chat that goes along. It's not tied directly to the union, but we came about because we started to know each other through the tenant union. And it's been very helpful. Hey, I have a package. Can somebody go downstairs and pick it up for me? Hey, I noticed there's somebody strange on floor 10. Be on the lookout. This is what they look like. That's how you get to know your neighbors. All of us did not know each other until we started joining these meetings and we began communicating with each other. So we're looking for floor captains. It's not a lot of work. It's the thing that you already do as a neighbor living here and communicating with each other. Maybe you might not be communicating with each other right now, but we can get that going. And it's very simple. Between text messages and the way you see each other on a regular basis on the elevator, you can communicate with one another. So please, if you can't do it, if you know somebody on the floor who would be very good for doing that on your floor or in your building, please let us know, because that's how we all communicate with one another, okay? The other thing, the meetings. We've been posting up flyers in each of the buildings on every floor and in the elevator. I don't know if you've noticed. We put them up and then
Take 'em down.
exactly, they take it down.
Down.
Mhm.
Take them down.
Exactly. So now we know people are watching us. We call them people. We know who they are. Okay. So what we want to say is this is another reason why we need floor captains. That's how we can communicate with each other, because we used to rely on putting the flyers. And if you're not home that day or you don't happen to see it, you're not going to know that we're having a meeting or we're having an event. Yes, we're aware. We're aware. Yeah, they were advised to take it down. We are fully aware of that, but we wanted to let you know that because we are putting the effort to communicate and they are taking the information down, okay? So that's another reason. Also sign up for the emails if you don't get those today. Okay, perfect. Thank you. We like hearing that. Also, community meetings to think about. The Manhattan Community Board 10, that's another group that represents Harlem. They meet all throughout the month. The general body meeting is in the beginning of the month and they have different committees. So if you have something that you care about that you want to go to, they have the safety committee, they have a housing committee. And more recently, there is the vote for 145 that's coming up. You guys know the building, the high rise that they're trying to build right up by 140. Exactly. That's coming up on the 23rd. So that affects us directly because that's going to be more traffic on that block. It's going to be more people at that train station. We don't know what else is gonna come about, and they might knock out, the businesses that are there or community centers that are there. Yeah, they're closed. Many of them are closed.
So I read where they beat it. They're not gonna build a high rise.
No, it's
there.
back. It's back with modifications.
Okay.
So it's not the original that
Okay.
maybe 2 or 3
Okay.
years ago that they proposed. Yeah, but
Okay.
we still need to stay involved because it's right here. We have an update actually on 145.
Not on 145,
sorry.
but in terms of the Community Board 10's Housing Committee, it is joined up with the Land Use Committee, so they're one and the same. So they're no longer meeting on the fourth Monday of every month. They're meeting on the third Thursday of every month. So we'll make that adjustment on the next agenda.
Okay. Last two announcements, NYPD 32nd Street, since we started the SPTU, we've established a strong relationship with them. They text us, they ask us how we're doing if we need anything. They also have community meetings, and you're welcome to go. The more folks that we have there, they like to hear from us. They know when Savoy's present, and the more folks who can go, that would be great for us, okay? And the last thing is make sure you stay connected. We're going to start thinking about other ways to communicate with each other. We've already talked about text messages, email. We might start a website. If you know anybody who knows how to make a website, please let us know. And the last thing that I want to say is we've gone a little bit over on today's meeting, but just to communicate our plan. We like to start at exactly 7. We want to be done by 7:30. We understand your time is important. So being on time is great for us because we'll get through our content. And then from 7:30 onward, we can talk everybody, if you have a specific circumstance that you want to discuss, we can do that. But again, we are mindful of your time. These meetings will not go extra long. We will keep them focused to the relevant updates, and you'll get a document, the agenda that you have in hand, okay? So please tell your neighbors, we want these meetings to grow. We alternate between the different buildings. So last time we were in 60, now we're in 620. We're gonna move to a different building. So we wanna see all of you show up to the next building, okay?
Very good.
All right, thank you, everybody. Have a good evening and have a good night.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yes, and if you're,
Hello, before everybody leaves, they're too kind and humble, so I'm happy. We would ask anyone that can, whatever you can on the monthly meetings, to please bring a small donation. These group of young people, they print, they pay, they have provisions, so we want to support them, right? Because everything costs money. We're not asking, but we're hoping that you would be kind enough to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have an